Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to day, I think it is 94 off the tip of the day. I'm hoping everyone is making plans for Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. I'm hoping that you all are enjoying your Valentine's Day. So I'm going to make this tip. Maybe it'll be like in a few phases. It may not be enough to record it in one video. But the tip that I wanted to give everyone is this concept that Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, which is called metacognition. So I see a lot of posts on our Facebook group where people are able to say, they read the post and they go, I know what that is. I can see myself in that, like whether it's like Eckhart is saying, change your like responsiveness or reactivity. Then somebody says, oh, I know what that is. So the one thing I wanted to let everyone know, that the fact that you can see your reactivity, right, in itself is an incredibly amazing feat, because most people are so unconscious. They are so identified with the thoughts that are going through their mind that there is no gap. Like that witnessing faculty of being able to see their thoughts is not there at all. So they're not even able to make out that, oh, I'm feeling angry now, or there's a knot in my stomach and I'm feeling angry. Or when you feel irritated, there's like a flutter in the bottom of your abdomen, and then it becomes like heat, right? The temperature rises in that area. So most people don't even realize that. So what Dr. Joe Dispenza calls that exact ability to be able to observe what is going on in our mind and our body, what are the thoughts that we are thinking, and the emotional feel that we are feeling in our body is called metacognition, or that is what Eckhart calls as presence. So our job, once we have enough presence power, that we are able to go examine what is our, so initially we have to work on just that minimum of presence power, that we have the ability to look at our thoughts and look at the emotions so that we can change our reactivity, right? So that is the fundamental, what Eckhart is teaching. If you read A New Earth, in the first 4 chapters, all Eckhart is teaching in the first 4 chapters, if you really imbibe all that, soak in all that teaching, all he's teaching in the first 4 chapters is to make sure that you no longer behave in the way that you would in the past. So he talks about letting go of resentments. He talks about complaining. He talks about name calling. He talks about egoic wanting. So anytime, and I want to give you all this example. So initially, in year 2011, when I started studying Eckhart's teachings, what I did was, if in A New Earth he said, stop having resentments, and this is exactly what Dr. Joe is calling metacognition, right? So if Eckhart said, stop having resentments, I stopped having resentments. If Eckhart said, complaining is a way that the ego, so any aspect of the ego, now we need to shake it up and weaken it. So what I would say is start to observe your thoughts, start to observe your emotions, and anything that Eckhart says that strengthens the ego, let go of it. The more you let go of your ego, the more we allow it to be diminished. The more we allow it to be diminished, the more our presence will arise. You know, we don't have to sit in meditation. Just the fact that we allowed our ego to be diminished, the other witnessing faculty will arise more and more. And Dr. Joe Dispenza calls it that you're not inside the jar reading the label, you're now outside the jar and are able to read the label. Like when you're inside the jar, you cannot read the label, but when you're outside the jar, you can read the label. So that's exactly what you're doing when you have that metacognition, or the ability, like, yeah, we have an analytical mind. We have what is called the frontal lobe, the neocortex, but then now we have to use that analytical mind to actually say, I am no longer going to think this thought. I'm no longer going to, if I feel resentment, then I'm going to think of something that is going to make me feel like step up. Like from resentment, you may go, okay, I'm resentful about this, but maybe think of something that is less than resentment, maybe something that you're irritable about or frustrated about. And as you step up, this is a tip given by Abraham Hicks, as you step up in your emotional scale, soon enough you'll get to the point that no longer will you be resentful. So that's what that's another part where Dr. Joe Dispenza says, he calls it Hebbian law, nerve cells that fire together, wire together. But the opposite is also true. Nerve cells that don't fire together don't wire together. So we have to like be watchful. Like Gandalf on the bridge is the phrase that Dr. Joe Dispenza uses. Eckhart Tolle uses, bring the sword of presence. So we have to bring the sword of presence to actually prune away all these old conditioned patterns. And these are not conditioned patterns just in me, myself, or a certain person. So that's why Eckhart says, don't take anything personally, right? Ego is not personal. It is a conditioned pattern in this society, in this culture, in this on this planet. For thousands of years, human beings have been thinking this way and reacting this way. So right now, what I would say, if you are able to figure out that, hey, I'm having a thought and that's a resentful thought, celebrate it. Celebrate, say, I am like incredibly amazing right now that I'm able to watch that thought and say that I'm resentful. I'm able to watch that thought and go, oh, I'm complaining now. Or I'm able to watch that thought and say, oh, I'm about to name call somebody, right? The moment you do that, that means that witnessing faculty, the presence, the ability to have metacognition is arising. But what I would say is use your analytical mind to say, no, I am not going to have that thought anymore. Like if you get angry about your mother, or if you get angry about your father, then no longer am I, from this day on, make the decision, I'm no longer going to get angry about that mother or father or sister or brother or co-worker or friend, whatever it may be, right? So that's one tip for today is please work on, when you read Eckhart's posts where he says resentment is something that you should not be having, or complaining is ego's favorite strategy because it's trying to compare itself, in putting down the weather, it's trying to compare itself to the other. And the moment you live your life through comparison, that means you're living from ego. You're not living through presence. Through presence, you actually allow things to be. So that's my tip for today, is to have and sharpen the saw, as Stephen Covey says. Sharpen the saw of having this metacognition that you will not allow that certain thought, that whether it is, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm a loser, I hate this, take that out of your vocabulary, and let's see what happens. I'll bring some more about this, how I did it. But I do remember in 2011, when I started, my first task was to go through those 4 chapters and apply them, like playing roles. Chapter 4 of A New Earth is about playing roles. Don't play a role. Exactly follow what Eckhart is saying, and you will soon enough, you'll see that the ego is diminished. The ego is diminished, and more presence power is arising for you. So that's my tip for today. Happy Valentine's Day again, and have a fantastic Valentine's Day. Many blessings, much love. Eternally grateful for the love and support. Bye. Thank you.